Hey, what is good? I'm Zeb, and today we have a look at all the characters that are gonna release in 1.0. Also, we will talk about if they are worth it or not, if they are future-proofed, and stuff like that. A like and a follow would be highly appreciated, and let's go just right into it. Since I don't have my Taiwan account anymore, I will show you some gameplay and voice over it, and I blend a little overview for the characters. If you want to read that, you can just pause the video and have a look on it. And I will leave a link to the channel that I got the gameplay from down below. Please check him out. He does make good videos about the endgame content of CN or just the other version of P5X. So let's start with our first character. Yui is an Electro single target DPS. Her strength and weakness is her follow-up mechanic. The problem with her is she has a low follow-up attack rate, that is 45%. But she is really good if you are willing to reset a lot of times to get one really good run. Also, she doesn't really work with Ayaka Sakai or Cord. She doesn't really work with her too well. She's a valid sub DPS though, and CN gets more game modes where you want to run 2 DPSs. So if that's also gonna happen in global, or if time goes, she will be a good to okay option. But overall, she is really bad for a casual player and as a main single target DPS, and it's not recommended, or you just don't need her in your account. So she is an easy skip, but just as a reminder, if you like her or you just follow-up mechanics is the kind of thing that you want to play, just go for her. If you are new to Persona 5 Defender Max, you need to know that the SOS, like the end game of the game, is seasonal. So depending on the season, an other character will be good, right? Maybe Yui is bad, but in one season she is really good, and on another one she's really bad. So keep that in mind. Next up we have Fox. Fox is an ice AOE DPS, and he's the only defense scaling DPS in the game currently. That is his biggest strength, but also his biggest weakness. Why? Since right now we really don't have a good support unit you could run with him. Obviously that could change, but right now there isn't really a really good support unit for him. Also, Fox himself has no self crit rate buffing and a bit of randomness in his counter at 65%. Of course, it's not as bad as someone like Yui with her 45%, but you could maybe need to restart a few times if you want a really good score. And he is really hard to build, wanting many stats like defense, crit rate, crit damage, defense pan, and speed. Lastly, the turn limit is his biggest enemy, so in turn limit content he is not as good, but he does work really well in casual usage. You will have a lot of shields and Fox teams, so you can run it on auto with no issue. He does have slow damage, so turn limits is a really bad thing for him. Besides that, you can clear most of the AoE fights with Fox, so he is good at content that is more sustained focused. For example, the multi-layer dream, since there is the survivability tested, and for content that will have a turn limit, he is not that good on content like that. Next up we have MIRAN. She is a blast healer that is still even today one of the best sustain healers in the game in CN. Not much really to talk about her. She is just a really good healer. She also has a passive where she buffs the damage of healed allies. The only problem with her is she will get into the standard banner pool, so you should maybe skip her banner or just save your standard pulls, right? Because I think we also got Phoebe, I think was her name, the first 5-star navigator that will also come to the standard pool, and then it would be really good to pull with your standard tickets. But she is worth it. If you want to invest your premium currency into her is a different question, but she is an insane healer. But in my opinion, I think Morgana will just do enough for now. You want to upgrade eventually, but right now I think you don't really need MIRAN. It's more of a later unit you really want to have, since she is an insane healer. How I said again, even today she is the best or one of the best healers in CN. So yeah, that is, to be honest, all about MIRAN. The last character we will talk about in this video will be Queen or Makoto. She is a nuclear single target DPS character that can start dealing good damage on turn 1. She's also pretty sturdy as a DPS with her build in damage res. That said, being a quick single target DPS isn't as important now, as you usually want to play with Oracle in mind, but also means Queen is not reliant on Oracle. What is really bad about her though, she is hard locked with Vino. That is good and bad. Max to Vino is really accessible because she is a 4-star unit, but she is starting to get outclassed by other support units. Queen's reliance on elemental elements means you cannot replace Vino. If you A5 Queen, you will be able to unlock Vino, but I think a max 2 Queen isn't something everyone will have, so you will be forced to play Vino. And that is, good and bad, how I said, since you need to force to run an okay support instead of a stronger support. Also, she has fake technical, as in it doesn't work with technical mastery for Matoi, losing some future potential. Her lack of self-crit buffing and how crit works on her damage is annoying, as it counts for each hit. Overall, she is a really good DPS, still good in CN even to this day. Okay, now I want to talk about the pull priority if you want to pull. I would personally say Makoto first, then Fox, then Yui. MIRAN, she's not worth it since she will go into the standard banner, so I wouldn't pull for her. If you have standard pulls, it could be worth it, but I might even wait for Forbe, the 5-star navigator. For good stop points, if you want to pull for each character, Queen, free to play would be A0 and R0, so just her and her weapon because she really wants her weapon. If you are a Lightspender, A1 is also a really good point to stop. If you're a whale, just get that fucking shit maxed. And for Fox, the same. For Fox, if you're a Lightspender, I would maybe even go for an A1 R0, since it would be really worth if you like Fox and you want to play him a lot. For Yui, even though I would not recommend her, it's the same as for Fox, so as a free-to-play, A0 R0, if you're a Lightspender, A1 R0, and if you're a whale, just max it. But I would personally say skip Yui, pull for Queen for sure, and Fox is kind of up to you. It kind of depends on how you want to play the game and also how much pulls you saved up, if you rerolled and stuff like that. But yeah, Makoto is the 1.0 must-have, or like the really recommended pull. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you have any questions about the game, please let me know in the comments. Also, make sure to look at Red Half's channel. I'll leave everything down below. And thanks for the gameplay. I hope you don't have something against it. And see you guys in the next one. But do remember, stay classy, stay cool, and don't be a fool.